I mean, I'll leave it up to the mayor, obviously, because he's crafting a response, but what I would say is that we'll certainly address the ones that that's appropriate for him to address. And for things around information that's on the BMAC website, for example, or the structure of the survey, things that were discussed by the committee or done by the committee, we'll refer and say those questions would be better sent to the co-chair of BMAC or the spokesperson, something along those lines.
And some of the questions are similar to other questions that have been posed already, and so some of the responses we're quite confident in how to, and I would seek help from other committee members if I on issues where we haven't
None of
had.
it would be addressed had he simply read the minutes posted on the public website beforehand, so it's a lot less very publicly available.
The last few weeks, it's more often than we need to respond to inquiries from our community, and those responses we've received is currently one outstanding.
Hoping they put as much time more than the survey.
And Randy did send us a letter.
He did, and she sent it to me, asking that I send it to you after it was sent to the mayor and council.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Which I sent this afternoon
Yes.
to all of you, so you're in receipt of his letter to you.
So do you need a hand in responding?
I may, I didn't, it was 8 pages, and I looked at it very quickly,
Yeah.
so I don't know, and that's why I'm saying if there's things that I'm not really comfortable on because we haven't already discussed it or discussed our appropriate response when it's gone through our process to get it ready, I will see to the committee to help us.
But may I also suggest that we don't spend a tremendous amount of time or energy working on this process. It's important that they have a response, but we have a lot of very important work to do. It should not prioritize the work that we need to do, and let's carry on. That this needs to be put in perspective, and let's not spend a lot of time. We've got important work to do. Hearing a sentence or two would be fine.
A lot of it's just links.
Yes.
From my reading of the letter, it's almost all
We
covered in
need
the
to go
Yeah.
on and on
No,
and on.
it's,
I
we'll
think
keep our
that-
responses succinct.
Yeah.
Well, there can be a lot of cut and paste as well.
Correct.
Because as Andrew said, much is already in the minutes. And I think that there are a couple things there that were taken out of context. So I'm happy as well to be another lens, another set of eyes.
So are we waiting to begin that response until we hear from someone, or because we're in receipt of your letter, we'll start responding on those areas which are appropriate for us to respond on?
Maybe what I would suggest is that as it was addressed to the mayor, he will be the first one to respond. And in the process of crafting that response, it'll become quite clear what are the things that it's appropriate for WEMAC to respond to, and then,
And then you'll let me know.
yeah.
Well, and can the mayor CC us on the response?
Certainly, yeah, absolutely.
Because I think that would be really valuable to see, to see what the mayor's responded, so that we can ensure that, and that Wen gets the responses to those other questions. Yeah.
Has our previous correspondence to them by email been acknowledged?
Our last email has not been acknowledged, though it was referenced that there would be further responses to that email in this 8-pager we got today. That's how I interpreted that. So no, it has not been responded to.
Well,
By then.
as Jim points out, I mean, given all the work that you outlined on the survey, I would imagine that after the 10th and or 17th, when the report's sort of down the pipeline, is probably a good time. But we'll work on getting the links to the minutes cut and pasted. I don't feel obliged, given that the minutes have been public, to generally, I mean, it's obviously the mayor's call, but my advice would be just to put a link to the minutes with the relevant information, because whether you cut and paste it or they have to click on the link, it's fully available.
And I agree, and I also know that members of the community who have sent us these communications have spent some time themselves thinking about what they wanted to ask us, and so I want to make sure that we're respectful and we make sure that we give them the correct information. So I'm going to balance the time, but I want to make sure we respect the time. So. Number 2, which is really just in front of each of you, there's simply an update of code of conduct in corporate policy. It just happens that it is presented to us tonight. It is not for review or?
Well, the city clerk gave direction that we provide copies to all the advisory committees, and that would be noted in minutes that they had received this updated document.
Lori, is there just a quick and dirty, what's been updated? It's a lengthy document, so I don't have to read the whole thing again. Is there, is it just spelling mistakes changed, or is there?
It's actually, to the best of my knowledge, it's related to the harassment policy, so it's actually not even so much this policy as the related policies, and also some stuff related to staff and we did it as a sort of omnibus thing at council. You know what, I can
So
send
this
you the
document could be
council
exactly
report.
the same as the original document we
In
received.
terms of how it relates to committees, it's roughly the same with the exception of harassment, so that if you feel you're being harassed, including by members of the public actually, you do have some policy reports, but what I can do is find the link to the council report where we pass the changes and send it to you so you have just the changes.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The committee actually went through this at some length at the beginning because of the issues of, the
Yes.
community was making some allegations related to conflict of interest and stuff, so I wanted to make sure that they were really up on it. So I'll just send you the council report with the.
Thank you.
That'd be great.
Is there any other business to bring forward?
I do have the dates on the transportation, sorry about that. So it's not quite the West End.
Brand House is the 15th of June at 7 o'clock is the transportation forum.
That's the same
And
night
it's
as
7?
or not, depending on
And
how it
development.
is.
I can tell you that
It's
if
okay,
it,
it's
if
okay.
it does end up being Gate 7, I can guarantee you it will be moved. We have already talked about contingency plans.
It won't be,
There
it's
are-
gonna be done in 6.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
5.
So,
and then
Sweet!
Four.
a couple little things.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Councilwoman, was that
June 15th
Roundhouse?
is the talk transportation at the Roundhouse. There's also 2 open house. This is like presentation response kind of format. There's 2 drop-in open houses on July 7th at the VPL and July 13th at the Hyatt Regency. It's sticky board, kind of more open housey format, no formal presentation. And there's no hockey game scheduled for either day. And there's a fabulous web forum which has such exciting questions as, have you recently changed how you get around Vancouver? How can we support the economy through Transportation 2040? What issues do you face traveling in Vancouver today? So if you have time or interest, it's I think particularly interesting for the West End. We have so many different kinds of uses in one pretty small area.
I have a fantasy of a streetcar that joins Commercial Drive with Davis Street, so that would be the place in order to do that.
Do you know what I found out on a walking tour from the Public Spaces Network? The post office on Commercial Drive at, it's between 6th and 5th,
Yeah.
It used to be the streetcar station for, interesting, eh? And you can see when you're standing there, you realize exactly how the streetcar went and why the stores are where they are, and it's very interesting.
So with that, the meeting is Thursday, June 23rd, and do we have someone who would like to?
I move to adjourn.
Thank you. We don't need a, on that?
No, I don't.